Hello friends, this is the new garage, and we're going to turn this into a studio to shoot video and have some bands in here, sort of like we did with our old West Coast Ramble show back in California. We had a studio in my garage, and it was like a two-car garage. Converted it, and the studio was probably like maybe 220 square feet, 240 square feet, and at the most part we had like a band in there with like, I don't know, 5 people and 2 of my friends sitting there talking. And then me in another room in the studio had a small little room for a computer, just enough room for one guy and a computer. Sold the house in Orange County, California. Got some money, so went out and bought a this place out here in Nashville. So it's got a house and it's got some land. When we moved over here, we did get the shop, but one thing we noticed, there was no power in the shop. There was an extension cord going from the house into the shop. So that presented a problem to me, so we had to get power for it. So we had some electrical guys come out here, and they're going to put in a drop here with power going to it, but it has to go to that. There's a pole way out over there, so there's power at the top of that, but all these branches in the way, we're going to have those cut out of the way so that we can make it all the way to the weatherhead, is what that thing is called there, the weatherhead. Power goes down into that, and it's going to a 220 amp breaker. So I had a new breaker put in, and it's gonna have like more than enough power, but you know, I wanted to have a welding kit in here and do enough stuff for a stage. Anyway, so here's the inside of the shop. It's already insulated. So what I did as far as insulating, you don't know it, but it's pretty warm in here because it's July. But we're gonna do, I got, the whole thing was insulated with this foam. It's not the best way to insulate, but it came with the garage. And it looks nice, but it's just like a 1-inch foam. So what I'm gonna do up here on the ceiling, because I don't have any insulation there, and you can really feel it. Looked on YouTube, and they said I could have spray foam for 10,000 bucks, or buy this stuff for like 850 bucks, 3 of these things. And I'm gonna wrap this up in the ceiling. And that was like, it was like $850 from Tractor Supply for all this stuff. And it's basically the same kind of stuff you put in your window of your car when it's hot, you know, you just slide it up in there. But it's a bunch of it, so I'm gonna put it all up there. So once that's done, I'm gonna have an air conditioning unit put in here. And the air conditioning unit is fairly expensive, but it will be able to cool and heat down this place so we could do all sorts of work in here and have a stage. Regarding the stage at our old place, we just kind of, it was more of a practice rehearsal place, and it was soundproof, so I could play in the neighborhood really loud. In this place, I don't have to worry about it because it's, I don't really have any neighbors. It's like some guys over there, you know, somewhere behind those trees, and some other people on the other side, but noise isn't the issue. The problem is it being freezing in the winter and super hot in the summer. So we're gonna build, once I get the AC going, it should be real nice in here. And I'm gonna have a stage from, basically from there to there. That's 30 feet across and maybe like 20 feet out. And then I got the camera crane. I've got a couple of those, that's my business. So I'll have the camera crane over here set up so we could shoot bands in here doing their whole thing. And it's gonna be a lot of fun. And then, you know, too late to have the Beatles in here, but at least I have their picture. So and over here, I'm gonna have like a big, in my old studio, if any of you guys were there, there's that small little room with a computer, and I could barely just sit there with a soundboard. Well, I'm gonna build a room up here with the soundboard and some glass so you could see the studio. And also underneath, I'm gonna build a cage so I could put like all my camera equipment and expensive stuff and amps and stuff. I could lock it under here. Not that we have any problems, but just to be safe. And so once that gets all done, I'll go ahead and I don't know, be ready to go. Hopefully, it's July now. I'm hoping by the end of August to have this thing ready. And I'm having air conditioning put in with like really quiet ducts along there. So it should be really quiet. That's the goal, is to have it super quiet so we could do interviews in here. If I was able to do some work, some of my video work, and we had to do interviews in here, it'd be super quiet but still cool. I'm also gonna have on the ducting, I'm gonna have like an inlet so I could put a duct hose, like a flexi hose, so I could put it here and shove it in someone's face if they're really hot. You know, if we're doing like a cooking show or a band is playing and they're really sweating, you could put some cool air and blow it down into their face. So I got different ideas. And then up here, I'm gonna put some speed rail and hang a bunch of lights. And the goal is to have a stage sort of like, you know, Conan O'Brien's stage. Will I make any money off it? Will it be a success? I don't know. But, you know, lights aren't that expensive these days, and it's a write-off. And I think we're gonna get some good bands in here. I'm kind of excited about that. If anything, I just get to like entertained by some great bands. But I think the YouTube channel will start to grow, you know, with the look of it, and if we do it real professional, I think it should be good. And people on YouTube and stuff could use some just good old-fashioned entertainment. So that's what we're gonna do. Might not be as successful as if we were all controversial, maybe that would help, but we're not. We're just gonna do fun stuff. And hopefully you'll tune in for that once we get it done. But this is the studio as it is right now. I'll break it up later when we get the electrical in and they start putting in the AC, and then I'll start building the stage over here. It should be fun. Please check it out.